Hello everyone, today I'll be talking about the chemical bonds and their types. So we have two types of chemical bonding. We have ionic bonding and covalent bonding. So what is ionic bonding? It's when electrons are transferred from one atom to another. And the less equal sharing of electrons, the more ionic the atom is. And it usually occurs between metals and nonmetals. As we can see here, the sodium is the metal and the chlorine is the nonmetal. So let's see how they're combined or how they chemically react. So as we can see here, the sodium gives one electron to the chlorine so that it can become positively charged. And then the chlorine gains one electron and becomes negatively charged. And that's how they obtain the octet rule and become stable. Second, we have the covalent bond. It's when electrons between atoms are shared equally, and the more equal they're shared, the more covalent the atoms are. And it usually occurs between a nonmetal and a nonmetal. So let's see how the carbon reacts with hydrogen. Carbon has 4 electrons in its outermost energy level, so it needs 4 more electrons so it can be stable. So we have 4 hydrogen atoms attached to it, and now it has 8 in the outermost energy level. So, are the bonds polar or non-polar? If elements are the same, then the bond is non-polar, as electrons are equally distributed, like the chlorine. So, more electronegativities attract electrons more strongly than the lower electronegativities. We know if the bond is polar when the electronegativity is more than or equal 0.5, and it's non-polar when the electronegativity is less than or equal 0.4. As we can see here, the oxygen is bonded with 2 hydrogen atoms. How we can know if the bond is polar or non-polar? We first have to see the electronegativity of each one of them. So the oxygen has a 3.5 electronegativity and the hydrogen has 2.1. To know the bond between them, we have to subtract them, which gives us a 1.4. It means that it's a polar bond, nearly ionic. So what are evidence of chemical reactions? The first one is changing color. As you can see here, it was pink and then it turned out to be green. Then we have the precipitation formation. It was water and then it became solid. So we have 4 main types of chemical reactions. The first type is the synthesis reaction. It's when 2 or more atoms combine to form a complex product. The second chemical reaction is the decomposition, in which a compound is broken into smaller atoms. The third one is the single replacement. It's when one element is displaced from a compound by another element. And the fourth one is the double replacement, in which 2 compounds exchange bonds or ions to form different compounds. And that's all. Thank you for watching.